So now, the last presentation for the session, our friend Thomas Gloger from Germany. I met him 2015 in Passau, I remember, at the Congress first time. So he started since then to work very hard with the product. And today we will have a presentation of his about development problem with children experience with the product. And I think it's a very important and interesting subject. Please, Thomas.
Yeah, hello everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
So then,
please share your presentation.
So now you can see my presentation. So yeah, thank you, Mirella, for the nice words. I just drop into the topic Apilanil. I think there are a lot of names, titurated larvae. So I call it here in my presentation Apilanil. Also, we know there are more than that name. So just a little bit to my person. I'm a beekeeper, also active in Apomondia. I don't want to say too much, but here this picture and the next one, this is the Ministry of Agriculture, or at least was the Ministry of Agriculture of Slovenia, and the President of Slovenia. And it's not because I'm sure not this picture because I'm a special friend, but it's more the other way around, that I want to show all these who are now listening in the other countries that we have to show the politicians what we can do, what bees are doing from the pollination, and also here what we do today. So you can read a little bit more about apitherapy in my book, also in English. So yes, so let's go to Apilanil. Here you see the drone larvae, which are the raw material. And this is also, I think, important. I'm not a TCM expert, but for TCM people, so traditional Chinese medicine, I think it's important to visualize that with our bee products, we can access all these 5 elements of this Chinese traditional medicine thinking. So honey is something different, bee venom, and we have here the Apilanil, and that is with all these things that are not the same. And when people say I'm allergic against bee venom, then they cannot eat honey. This is stupid, and you can see it from this diagram. And so we stop here, otherwise it's too long. So the composition of dry material is contains a lot of proteins, amino acids, sugars, especially also special sugars, and a lot of lipids. So when people say, yeah, this is a high protein diet, we have to answer, it's well-balanced diet. I think this is the message of this material. So we have, again, like in the pollen and what we discussed before, a lot of micronutrients, minerals, phosphate, and a lot of vitamins. So it's hardly to count. And then we have choline, polyphenols, stem cells, hormones. And this is there where the material becomes very special. It's hormones, choline, stem cells, polyphenols. So there are active ingredients which makes it different to just a beefsteak. So here we made once an analysis of amino acids. Here where we are missing the numbers, that's just they are still present, but the laboratory had a different method, so we couldn't measure that. But you see, we have a lot of very good distribution. We have from every amino acid, we have a little bit. And this is also the secret. We have this well-balanced material. And I think we are living in a world where we talk about people go to sports and eat a lot of proteins because there is some specific thing in it. And this is, I think that is very monostructured. You have to look more broadly, and the health is based on more than one column. So go to the other things. We talking about antioxidants. We have different measurements of antioxidants. We have water extractant, we have ethanol extractants. Depends, of course, the apillanil is more water soluble, so we find more water soluble compounds in it. We have a lot of flavonoids in it, and what's interesting in all these analyses is that the loss in freeze drying, which we can see here, is very limited to around 10%. And I think we talked about this already before, that things lose a lot of their activity. And here the freeze drying of this very, very sensitive material is very important conservation method. So, and it's also the research says that the geographical origin is here less important than we discuss it in pollen or in propolis, for example. So it's also, again, based on dry matter. So we have, in royal jelly, we have less antioxidants. This is also important to remember, and it's an important hint. So, and now I come to that, why apillanil is working so well. There are 3 modes of action. First is there are micronutrients and their composition. So that what I already said, that's very, very balanced, essential amino acids, a lot of simple building blocks are there. So that is one component that is maybe easy to see. The second is the messengers and hormones. I already said about the choline and the stem cells and the hormones. They activate our body, and they activate the nerves, and they regulate the metabolism of the liver. So because the liver don't have to crack down these molecules, because they are all in a very simple, chemical speaking, status, the liver has to do less. So that's the important thing. But also the metabolism of the liver is enhanced by the products. And the third is, I think in the previous presentation was also already said that the skin of a larva is containing the kind of immune system. So it provides an antiviral effect and the stimulation of the immune system. So for me as a chemist, it was took quite a while to understand that. For biologists, it's very obvious that this naked larva is protected, and it takes the molecules and the contents into the product we're producing out of it. So breaking this down for children, I think that is where we were today. It's an easy food. It has a good composition. This is important for children growth, so we will see later. Then the hormones, it restarts stuck developmental processes and strengthen physical status of children. And then the third one, it fights hidden infections and strengthens again the immune system. So these are the 3 columns of apillanil. So I think there is not enough time today to go to all these indications of apillanil. So that's really a long, long list. And it's in principle female problems, male problems, so male sexual problems, but then development disorders for children. And what we have also the inability to get children. This is also some illness of today. Also, that's not an illness. It's the Heilpraktiker in Germany say that their practices are full with people having problems. So then we have also this metabolism indications, and what we call, or what I see, unclear causes, so depression, melancholy, things. So metabolism. So let's break down this for children. So we have these developmental disorders. For example, young boys with undescended testicles, bedwetting, puberty disorders, which are hormonal caused. Then we have others, epilepsy, mucoviscidosis, cystic fibrosis. Then we have malnutrition. So this underfeeding is something which we have seldom in, let's say, rich countries, but as people are now getting more into extremes of feeding themselves, the vegetarian and whatever, only specific nutrition, there is also some underfeeding. And of course, bee products and the apelnil is a good help if this came completely out of control. So one-sided nutrition, so only McDonald's kills you also. If you don't like to eat, anorexia, nerve disorders, memory problems, neural weakness, and fatigue. So nervousness. So this typical developmental problems in school of children. So then general depression, melancholy, lacking of stimulus. As far it's not psychologic, but this apelnil is also some kind of physical helping, supporting these processes. And I already mentioned this getting children. So that is something very important and life deciding for young people. So how do we dose? We have 1 gram per day. Best fresh. So the 1 gram is as powder, or fresh is then 3 times higher. We should use it a regimen 1 to 3 months at least, or even longer. For chronic disorders, so like epilepsy, it's much longer. And already today was mentioned that the synergy with other bee products, so honey, propolis, especially when you have virus, bacteria, Perga, the microbiome improvement, royal jelly is always a booster, and there is good synergies with apelnil. This is always to mix from my point of view. So hive air, of course, when children are allergic. So overdosing is not a risk because we're talking about the food on that. Don't take it after midday, and so normally doses don't interfere with other ongoing medications. This is also important. So yes, and then we come to this Kraftmischung from Miljan Bobic. He is my mentor, and therefore I show it. I think Alina always talks about API cocktail. So API cocktail here for epilepsy, we have this power honey, 4 teaspoons a day, 1 teaspoon per 10 kilograms. No epileptic seizures after some time of take-in. The reoccurrence come when we discontinue this, taking this API cocktail. So then we have mucoviscidosis. We have here an example, 20 grams fresh pressed juice a day for some weeks, and then followed by other bee products. This will be repeated several times a year, and it's also used as frozen juice. So the result is keeps the negative effects under control. It's not a healing. And I think this is always important to say in apitherapy. Sometimes we can reach a healing, but often we just can improve the living conditions. So this is the apelnil part, and I just found it good to share our experience with our own children. And we would always say, when we would have known bee products earlier, and I can show a little bit what we use ourselves. So we started with drops on sugars, later with propolis capsules, and we used it as a kind of antibiotic, anti-allergic, anti-diarrhea, and painkiller against after. And yeah, we started with propolis capsules with a tooth root infection in inflammation, where the dentist said also you have two choices. Either we kill your, we take out your tooth end of the week because it's rotten, or you take antibiotics. And so we gave our child capsules, 2 capsules an hour, and I can tell you within some hours this inflammation broke down, and it has a very strong effect, very fast. So, and then we take spray. That's propolis with honey, cold for common cold, sore throat, hoarseness, gum inflammation. So, and then propolis balm, mosquito bites, inflamed pimples, sunburn, bee stings, torn corner of the mouth, skin abrasions, swimming warts. Bee venom cream became later skin itching, irritations. Acne is very well treated with bee venom cream. Muscle ache, warts, wound edges, scars. So, and then here the Propolina, the inhalation, it was very expensive purchase in Passau more than a decade ago, and it's still running, and it's always in operation when we have cold, nose, sinus, throat, lung, voice, coughing, sneezing. Also, when diarrhea and vomiting is around in the family, it stops the spreading. And yeah, I wanted to make a slide of others, and it was then you see it's a lot of more. Hive is post treatment for coughing, anti-allergic treatment, pollen general prevention, royal jelly general prevention, wax plates. It's used for cold, for fever, for coughing, for abdominal pain. And then we had more other things like nose spray, steam baths with propolis is very popular, coughing syrup, propolis and honey. So you see this good combination. We were very far away from honey and milk. Here, honey and propolis given more often gives much better results. So here, this is the view in our bath cabinet, and I had the pleasure yesterday. I cut my finger so to use the honey. But for the children, we used very often the honey, and when the wounds are closed, we use propolis tincture, propolis balm. So, and then honey massage is detox and anti-allergy program. And something which I came across all over the time is the ADHD symptom, that children have too much energy, or that is the conventional side. And there I often heard the recommendation, it's honey is against, no, you have to think that a rather other way around. It's the opinion is it's energy deficit, it's too much energy, but in the end it's energy deficit. And that is the reason why I put my son here, not because he has ADHD, but we were here in Passau, and you see the water was here 1954, and here 2013 it was here. So you can imagine when you are swimming here or here, that you have to paddle so much, and that means not that when you paddle here you have a lot of energy. No, you have little energy. So you need honey, and honey gives you a lot of energy. And this is very important to keep this picture and give children who have this fidgeting, give them honey, and then they calm down. So when we would have known bee products earlier, what we say, we would have saved many sleepless nights. Yeah, start, make a move, don't wait till here all these very good people make a study. just do it yourself. Start small. Don't expect to travel with the bees to the moon. Just one drop, a couple of capsules or whatever. So it is not a game changer in the beginning, but add to existing therapies. Collect experience with yourself, with your family, how the different children react, because every child is different, and what one likes that the other doesn't, or what you like, then the children don't like it. So don't force it. Play a little bit the magician. It must be fun. So bribe with honey. So when I dressed the wounds, the children got always the spoon to taste when I put the compression on the wound. So make a lot of make the tricks. Don't force the children, and life is fun. So here, for example, this is a bee product. This is bee bread with chocolate, so very nice and tasting, and something different. So you can read a lot of these things in my book, and for all of you who have questions which cannot be answered now, can reach me here. So I thank the organizers for organizing this wonderful conference, and yeah, now see what the questions are. So.
Thank you, Thomas, for your very good presentation. And I couldn't agree more with your last slide.